Detroit at Baltimore. Baltimore is right now at Bet365. Looks like Baltimore is a what are they, 2.5 points right now? And that's what it was the other night. And no, now it's up to 3. So we bet this right away on Sunday night. And we're on the side of the wise guys. The bets are on the Lions, the money is on the Ravens. Lions, we said this last week, and we didn't think it could get higher, which is why we took the Bucks, and that
Yeah.
the Lions value has never been higher in a burn best. Jared Goff is the most profitable QB against the spread the past 5 years. That's getting even better this year. The Ravens, meanwhile, have not played great. Coming home from London, Lamar Jackson, not great as a favorite. We think this is the right spot. The Lions, the last 4 games, 70% against the spread. Lions and the Ravens have both beaten their opponents this season by 7+ points per game. They face off in week 7. When two teams winning by 7+ points per game on the year meet this late in the season, the favorite covers only 40% of the time the past 20 years.
Jeez.
I know. So it's not looking, if we want here, Evan put a note in here. If you want to fade Detroit, that's even worse saying. Any team on a 5-1 against the spread mark in a 6-game span only covers it 40% in their next 20 games. So it's like we could find trends to fit anything.
Yeah.
We bet Baltimore at 2.5. We already did it.
Which sucks. I was gonna make this my Simon Says play if it was still 2.5. Like I still love Baltimore. I love the value on Baltimore. I still love them at -3. I make this line -3.5, and I just know if they go to -3.5, this will be the most public bet team. We got the London stats of like these teams that come back. It's always a 1-possession game in the second half. Like that's rang true last week. These teams, they play close. So yeah, looking at this, it's more about fading the Lions. The fact that who have they played, right? Last week they beat up on Tampa. The week before they beat up on Carolina. The week before they beat up on Green Bay. The week before they beat up on Atlanta, and then they lost to the Seahawks at home. So they've been doing what they should do, right? They've been beating bad teams. They're running into a really good team in this Ravens team. Like they're really good, and we're catching Lamar after a game where I didn't think he played great against Tennessee. Like it just didn't seem like it was one of his better games, and usually he bounces back big time against teams like this. So Detroit, I think they've gotten away with some games here, but you're about to get a true Northeast fall game, apparently. Like apparently the weather might be bad this weekend up in Baltimore. So I'm pissed this line's moved. I really thought the public was going to come in and hammer this Lions team. So the fact that, yeah, Evan just put in our chat, it's supposed to be very windy. Come on. Like they just lost Montgomery. I think Gibbs is still out, the Detroit running back, the rookie. Like Reynolds made a hell of a block. Reynolds is not a great running back. It's a reason he's their third stringer. Like Detroit, this game is what we think it's going to be, a really windy game. You need to have a running back. And, the Ravens, yeah, they've had plug and play guys in that backfield, but it's all about Lamar. Like Lamar's running style is the game changer here. So I'm pissed this can't be Simon Says because I loved it at -2.5, but still love it at -3. If me and Chad are faced with the choice, I'm going to do my best not to let the -3.5 scare me off come Sunday when we make our final 5. But this just feels like a good spot to back this Ravens team against the Lions.
Yeah, it does. And it's like, look, we could twist ourselves in knots finding reasons to bet both sides. Sometimes it's about instinct and having done this a lot.
Yeah.
And the pace that the Lions are on is unsustainable. So you can keep betting against the Lions, and at some point you will win, right? And so it's just a question of, do you want to keep taking that shot? And do you think you're going to find the right spot? If they continue to do this, then they're going to go 17-1 on the year. They're going to race through the playoffs, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. Like they have to come back to earth. Regression is a part of the game. It just is.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff is not as good outside. And like, it's a great coaching matchup. The total is 42, by the way. So you might want to grab the under right now if we think that weather's going to be a concern. It's a hard one though. And a
Yeah.
3 in the contest is probably going to be 3.5.
Yeah, and just enjoy this week, Lions fan. It's like this is your guys' week. The Eagles lost, the 49ers lost, the Lions are like, are we the best team in the NFC? Like the Lions fans are really saying that right now, puffing their chest out. So it's got to feel good if you're a Lions fan. You got a really good offense, a really good defense. Your special teams is really good. It's like that's the dream scenario. Like you guys are a top 3, top 4 team right in the NFC, and yeah, you don't have the historical data on your side that makes me have any confidence in you guys to make a Super Bowl run. Like, what do you have? One playoff win in 50 years, something crazy like that. But you got Goff, a guy who's been to a Super Bowl, like a guy that knows what it takes to get there, and he's playing at that level right now. Like,
Yeah.
you go through his throws the last 2 years, it really is impressive. Like he's making the big time plays, and he's humble. Like I saw the video of him after this win. Like they were trying to get him all rallied up, and like, he's just a humble dude that's just, that whole thing of LA getting rid of him, sending him to Detroit clearly was the best thing that happened for both teams, right? The Rams got their Super Bowl. Detroit didn't even know, but they got their guy, their quarterback. And yeah, this Lions fans enjoy this week because usually me and Chad are right in these spots. Usually when we're like so heavy on a favorite like this, it tends to work out for us. So just a nice spot to back this Ravens team here, people. Don't let the numbers scare you off. Chad's right. Like it is tough going against the hottest team in football, but this is what we do. Like we're playing the numbers. This number is way too low. Should be 3.5. 3 is still good value. Just take the 3.
I think you're right about Goff. I think he's been humbled. I don't know that he was humble in LA. And I think he's definitely been humbled. I think when you get traded from Sean McVay in Los Angeles to Dan Campbell, a new coach, and the Detroit Lions, with no history of winning, you get humbled pretty fast. And then there's constant conversation about, are you going to be replaced? Also impressive that the Lions saw what they needed to see and knew what they were building 2 years ago, that they decided to commit to Goff and haven't gone and drafted or traded for that other quarterback. And he's been exactly what they needed him to be. Really hard game. Really,
Yeah,
really
and all
hard.
the people that say we're Lion haters, me and Chad were the original Lion lovers. We were all over them last year, 10-1, 9-1. I lost a lot of money betting them to win that division. So don't say we're not Lion lovers. We loved the Lions.
Anyone who's listened to this podcast knows we are like a Dan Campbell podcast. We root so hard for the Lions because we know the NFL is better with Dan Campbell in the league. We never want Dan Campbell to get fired. We want him to be coaching as long as we have this podcast. All right. We love the Lions. We just want to fade him in this spot.